Hey guys, back with another edition of the Coin Shop Podcast. Today, let me give a little backstory. So I recently had the amazing opportunity was given to me to teach at Summer Seminar the course, The Business of Being a Coin Dealer. And I did that with Rob Oberth, Rob Bruce, myself, and Seth Chandler from Witter Coin. Last minute Hail Mary came in for 2 days and helped for a few guys who weren't able to show up. And we were very grateful to have Seth in there. It was actually, honestly, guys, one of the most amazing things I've been a part of since I've been in numismatics. To see 26 or some odd people in a room with a thirst for knowledge of numismatics and how to do things the right way. I felt like it was just an overall amazing class. And one of the shining stars in that class, it was a kid named Curt Gammer. And Curt is the true definition of what I believe is the next wave of young coin dealers. I believe this kid has the passion. He has the drive. He's not scared to step out there. And he's not scared to shake a hand, and he's not scared to put a number on something and trade. He's really, I won't say I'm completely impressed, but I'm starting to get there. And Curt, introduce yourself and talk to the Coin Shop Podcast. What's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks for the great words, Kenny. That means so much to me. So like Kenny said, I've been a young numismatist trying to sell and buy coins professionally for about 2 years now over social media and through local coin shops and shows here in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. I've been collecting coins since I was 6 years old. I've always had a love for history. Started collecting with my grandfather, just with the Blue Whitman albums, and things took off from there. After the pandemic came, I began buying and selling coins off of Instagram and Facebook. That's where I met Seth Chandler, went to Witter Coin U, went to Summer Seminar, which are great programs. These summer educational courses really put people together that normally wouldn't meet, right? Kenny, Matthew, I see you guys at coin shows all the time, but just through the nature of the business, you guys are swamped. It's hard for someone to break off and make that connection. So Summer Seminar was a fantastic program because very fortunately, you guys were able to donate your time and come to speak to my class and, teach what you guys do every single day, which was so powerful and so cool to get to know you and, the way U.S. Coin Shop, works. It's great.
Yeah, we even got to do a little bit of business, right?
Yes, sir, we did.
That was, and that was, to me, that class was, it started off kind of like most classes do. Everyone's still trying to feel out each other and, we try to figure out, who's really into it and who's just kind of there. And let me say, and I'll speak on all 26 people, I felt like every single person who was in that class was there to learn. What about you? Did you get that same?
I felt it was dynamic. The first day, you could just feel the energy. It was really good. Coming out of high school, you get what you want out of the class, and everyone seemed really hungry to learn. And I think everyone walked away a better professional numismatist, which I think the goal was.
What was your feedback from people, not around the instructors? Did you guys talk about the class afterwards? Tell me some of the feedback on the street.
Oh, yeah. People were pumped. As soon as class ended, there was always a crowd staying after class. We wanted more. I think the class was 4 or 5 days, but if it was 14 or 15 days, I would have been there too. We could have talked for hours. The way the class was taught was super dynamic. We just had fluid conversations about advice and pointers and tips that we needed to know in terms of organizational, organizing purchases, customers, inventory, security, protecting yourself, going to and from a coin show, all these things that, aren't talked about enough and aren't anywhere in the world, are taught anywhere in the world except at Summer Seminar, except, at these summer programs. It's very important. And the class was hungry. They were pumped. They were getting out of class wanting more. I was talking to some of the younger guys that I work with a lot this past week, giving them sort of tips and guidance in my own experience as a young coin dealer. And they were like, I'm ready to go to a coin show. I'm ready to go to the coin shop that I work at and tell him, and not, tell him what to do, but bring the things that I learned from the class into the workplace over the counter and start making customers happy.
Well, I could see that in you, Curt, day one. Just to give you guys some context, Curt is a guy who sat middle, right? He wanted to make sure he was positioned right in the middle, wasn't front row. I believe he was a second row guy. And in my own experience going and things like that, I'm not really, even though I'm on the pod, I do a podcast, we do some Facebook lives, but being on camera is not necessarily comfortable for me. I'm not, I'm shy. I don't like this. This is not my comfort zone. I do this, and like I did summer seminar, because I'm trying to give back to a hobby that's given me so much. Right. And if that's the way the dice run, then that's what I'm going to do. And I like to see people step out of their comfort zones, because I believe that's when you really learn, is when you take the emotions out of it, you take everything out of it, and you just do it. And to me, it sounds very simple, but it's really hard to do, especially with someone like me who traditionally in the past has had a problem speaking up, or I didn't want to ask questions in front of my class of 30 people. And I didn't want, I feared that maybe it was a dumb question, or maybe they had already said it and I wasn't paying attention, or any of those reasons that you can mentally talk yourself out of learning. And you seem to be one of the same, a guy similar to me in that essence, where I could feel like it wasn't comfortable, but you just got your butt up there and started doing it. And I like that. I think that's what this business needs, is doers, right? You have innovators and you have doers, right? And you've got guys who are idealists and have these great thoughts and these great ideas, but what happens to them? They end up just sitting there and dying because they don't do that second and third and fourth part. And getting off your butt to do something it's powerful. And when you got up there and did some of those presentations, I could tell your face was red, you were kind of bumping your words a little bit, but you did it, man. And I was just, I was impressed, man. I was really impressed about that with you. Overall, I think you're gonna do really well. If this is something that you really want to do, I think you're gonna do really well. I want you to give me, give me some of your goals. What's your 1 year goal right now in terms of numismatics? What do you hope to accomplish in the next year?
Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate those, and also, great question. Right now, my 1 year goal, the main objective that I left your class with was I need to organize and structure my business in a more efficient way. That means, different inventory management, sales management, taking care of clients. The main physical objective, I'm actually in this room, I have it blurred out, it's a total mess, but I'm trying to convert it into a home office. I have a spare house in my house, spare room in my house. My dad's been kind enough to, let me use it as a workspace. I'm very happy about that. I've already registered as an LLC. I have an appointment with the bank this afternoon.
Look at this boy.
4 Eastern. So open up
awesome.
My business bank account and make a relationship there, because I learned at the class how important that was to establish a local banking relationship. I didn't realize that at the beginning. And to turn this into a home office with a shipping station, photography station, and being able to streamline my business in the next year and being able to scale up what I'm doing in my current operation and making it more efficient, I think that would be great.
Well, you got me fired up right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like
I love the energy, Curt. That's pretty cool that you came home, you got some knowledge from the summer seminar, and you decided to put it to work. You opened up your account, you started your LLC. Those are huge steps. That's pretty cool that you went straight to that. And that's awesome. Kudos to you for sure. That's cool.
That was what I saw on this guy, though.
Yeah.
Right. And believe it or not, it's funny because a lot of the most, and I say basic things, but they're basic to me because I run, we run a multi-million-dollar business, but it wasn't always that way.
Right.
And a lot of times it's easy to not look back at the hardships that you had to endure to get to where you are. And I feel like that's the whole part of teaching, is to be able to go back, write them down, try to write down some of the feelings and emotion that you went through. And, if something was tough to overcome, how can I teach this guy? How can I teach Curt, the faster route to go to A to B, rather like me? I literally went all the way to Z when I just needed to go to B, right? Yeah. So, kudos to you, like Matt said. That's amazing that, you go to the bank, you need to get your face in front of somebody, right? You need to start building your reputation. Your reputation starts now. And I hope that's one of the things that resonated with you. And that's going to that'll be a segue into my next question. But give me three things from the summer seminar that you learned from one of us that resonated with you the most.
Okay. I think the importance of I think the importance of marketing yourself and rather than marketing your brand, and then also the fact that people buy from people that they like. That sense that you said one of the days really resonated with me. That I could have the best coins in the world, but if I wasn't giving it my all and wasn't, if I didn't know what I was selling and didn't have that knowledge, people weren't going to buy the coins from me. They weren't going to feel confident. So being on my A game every single day, providing the best service I can, the importance of organization, and also the importance of security at a coin show, at home, traveling, insurance, everything. I think those three would really build the pillars to becoming a more successful coin dealer.
Okay. What was the most? Give me your number one most, just like, okay, you know what? This is the number one thing I learned there. This got me fired up the most. What is that?
Man, that's a really hard question, Kenny. But I mean, I think the importance of turnover and the fact that, you're always focusing, keeping the thing that makes a coin shop great, right? I mean, this distinguishes it from being a good shop to being a great shop is the fact that the great shops are always selling. They're always generating revenue. They're always moving product out of the door. They're not letting it pile up to the ceiling, right?
So what was the word? What was the word? I'm trying to find the word.
Hoarding? I think most coin shops are hoarders.
No, but what was the word I wrote down on the board that I said, and I must have said it 30 times in that 4 days?
That must have been one of the days I was in the second row. Turnover.
Liquidity.
I'm trying to think. I'm blanking right now, actually.
Liquidity.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
And basically what you were saying was that, right? You coin shops are buying stuff, they're buying it based on a percentage that they know they can flop it to whomever's buying what, right? But you've got to have liquidity, right? You have to have people that you trust, that you do business with on a daily basis, and you must maintain liquidity.
Yeah.
Right? And believe it or not, a lot of people don't really understand that. And I will even say today, I'm looking through my inventory today, and I'm looking at stuff that's just sitting there that literally is it's collecting dust. And we're talking about, $5,000 to $10,000 coins that are not being marketed anywhere. They're just sitting there because I have yet to have time to process them.
Yeah.
And
I can speak to that too. I have a whole stack of coins that have been on my desk. I keep adding and taking away.
You've had that stack on for 2 weeks.
Now I have gone through it. I just restacked it with other boxes. So it's in the same spot, but it's changed. It's different coins.
He's like,
because I priced a bunch of stuff on Saturday. I priced some stuff before.
He's like, let me help you let me take some of that load off you. I'm like, all right, great. and the load now is behind me.
That's good. No, but I think a lot of people when they start out, and I fell victim to this myself, is you buy a coin and you want the most money possible for it. And
right.
That you can't always get 100% of what, sometimes selling a coin for less than what you can get for it is the best form of free advertising you can have, because they'll come back for more. Maintaining that business relationship, and not always, what's the saying? I think it's you can milk a cow for as long as you want, but you can only eat steak once. It's one of those things where leaving room for the next guy, leaving meat for the next guy. That's another important thing that I had a basic understanding of, but was elaborated on in the class, was leaving meat for the next guy, making sure that those people are coming back for more. Because if someone pays 100% and they can't turn a profit on that coin for 5-10 years, they're never going to buy a coin from you again. Or at least if they do, well, great. But most people are not going to. So leaving a little bit of room for the next guy is a very important thing that I've learned, and I've had a lot of success with. People trading on Facebook, Instagram, and when I post something, it goes like that because they know that I've taken the time to price it, I've taken the time to research it, and there's going to be room for that.
You wouldn't. You nailed it. Okay, so I mean that was about the best answer that I heard. So that's exactly right. And this goes to young numismatists out there, or even just people that are getting into the business or have coin shops that are looking to expand and looking to scale. Is exactly what Curt said, and that was something that I was preaching pretty hard. I believe Seth also. I mean, I'd say all of them had their own piece to say. But I think, at the level that we are in terms of coin shops, you can't hold out for the last nickel. I mean, you just can't, unless you want to have 100 coin inventory that you're really tight within margins and that you're looking to get the last nickel. But you can't go to a coin show and go to setup and expect to get retail on your coins. Like it just doesn't. It's just not a good look. And if you're young getting into the business and you're doing those things, I'm going to tell you to stop, okay? And I'm going to tell you to kind of listen to Curt there a little bit. And I'm not encouraging you to lose money on deals, but what I'm saying is that when you flop a deal, remember that you're not just making, say, 5 or 7% on your coin, but what you're also doing is that you're building a relationship with another person that is also gauging the way that you're doing business. Right. They're gauging the way your invoices are written. They're gauging the way that your the text, your tone, how easy it was, how quick it was. There's nothing that bugs me more is when I buy a coin from somebody and then they ask me to do an invoice. I'm like, what is this? No, you can deliver the coin with an invoice and we'll write you a check, period. That's the way we do business. I don't write invoices for people. You need to have some basic understanding of how that works. And if you are going to be a volume dealer, then you need to learn that losses are part of the game. They're part of the business. You're going to take them. You can't run from them. If you're running from losses, you are literally going to go out of business because you are not trading enough. Right. You must build within and like I said, I told you to start building in your expenses into your pricing. And I know a lot of people think that's simple, but I would say that I think there's probably half the coin dealers out there that don't even know their own burn rate, that they don't even know what their burn rate is.
Cost of goods sold, right? I mean, I'll have people come to me, oh, Curt, I made $1,000 at the show. And I'll be like, okay, how much was your flight ticket? And they'll be like $1,100. One of those things where it doesn't matter how much you're making if your cost of goods sold. I mean, and another thing, before we move on, I was talking to a great guy, and he said one time to me, and this stuck with me: if you're not losing money on coins, you're not buying enough coins. Yep. If you're only buying the massive deals and things that you can make a ton of money on, you're missing so many 5, 10, 15% coins that pay the bills, pay the light bills, pay the airplane tickets. This stuff adds up. It's a lot of money to travel to a coin show, and it only gets more expensive as you go farther. So
right, yeah, and I'll add to that, and in doing so, if you're not buying everything, then you're gonna miss a lot of different coins. You're gonna miss some of the stuff you're gonna make great money on, and you're gonna miss some of the coins that you're gonna, like you said, make your 10 or 15%. So either way, you're missing out on deals that you could have had done. So
something Kenny, and that's great. Something Kenny was mentioning at the seminar was first shot, and how you should act when you get first shot on a dealer's inventory at a coin show. Because I think I rarely experience first shot on a dealer's inventory, and I never knew why until Kenny talked about. I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but I mean,
listen, anything that I said, any of my views, and remember, these are my views, and you can take them or leave them. It doesn't matter. Just like the podcast, you can listen or not. But I feel like, yeah, go ahead, let it rip.
Yeah, okay. The importance of making a good impression, buying a lot of coins when you have first shot, because that's a privilege afforded to you by that dealer, and making sure he comes back to you with the next fresh deal next time. Sitting down, you had a dealer come, and we actually saw you trade and what that was like, and how the transactions were down, and out of a box of 20 coins, I think it was ended up like 14 out of 20 that you bought. I mean, that leaves an impression. I showed you, we did a little business. I hope you don't mind me sharing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
We did a little bit. I showed you 10 coins. I think you bought 8 or something, or 8 coins. I think you bought 6. You better know that, at the next coin show, if I see you at the free minute, I'm going to come over.
Coming for you.
Fresh coins, because it's worth my time to do, and it's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even better, you go one step further and you text and we make an appointment, right?
Yeah.
And that's a professional thing to do, is that don't wait for me to be busy. Make yourself important. Like now, so it's retroactive, right? So I bought 7 out of 9 coins. So I bought 7 out of 9 coins from you. Well, you can better believe I'm looking for you too, right? Because now you had 8 coins, or you had at least almost 10 coins that to me were worth it inventorying for U.S. Coins' inventory. So you were very functional on pricing. It seemed like you understood what you were doing. So as a buyer, I'm starting to respect the way that you buy coins, which means that I can buy them from you. Again, you get instant liquidity, and now you're fueled up and ready to go back and go back and restock. And that's just the name of the game, and it's really that simple. But believe it or not, a lot of times people jump right over the bits and pieces, and they just go straight to transacting, and they don't really. Once you get to transacting, it's hard to stop. And if you don't start putting in those stops or start understanding to some degree, you can really leave money on the table, and you don't even understand it. So first shot is retroactive, because again, like I said, now I'm looking for you. So what you have to do is say, hey, are you going to go to this show, or where are you going to be next? I want to see you at 8 a.m. Let's have breakfast. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that's how you start building those relationships. And let me just tell you, a guy like you, with the right funding, you could go places. And I was really happy to meet you, buddy, to be honest with you. And like I said, I'm here for you. If you ever need anything, you've got my cell. Feel free to reach out anytime. And I want to keep hearing about how you're progressing in the coin business. I want to see coins. I want you to ask my opinion about coins. I want you to let it rip when it comes to you and me, okay?
That's great, Kenny. Thank you so much for that.
Why don't
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, listen, why don't you take a couple minutes and just, why don't you hype up some of those young YNs out there and let them know what it's all about?
Oh, yeah, totally, guys. Well, I mean, I started selling coins on the internet only 2 years ago, and I've been so fortunate and lucky to have been afforded the opportunities. I mean, I don't think Kenny's mentioned this, I'm not sure, but Kenny actually sponsored myself and I believe it was 4 other young numismatists to go to the summer seminar, expenses paid, to see him and learn from him and to do business with him and to meet other numismatists at this great, at the end of the day, it's a fantastic networking event, this summer seminar. You're going to learn so much from it. There's so many opportunities out there for YNs. You just need to be brave enough, to go out there and get them. I like people. I had a 14-year-old kid come up to me last week and said, how'd you what'd you do? Did you work 80 hours a week? Did you work? Did you do this? Did you do that? All I did was I tried to position myself to be the first person in line to do work and to get opportunities. That's all I did. The first person to say, yeah, I'll do that. That kind of work. I'll sort the Buffalo nickels. I'll sort the wheat cents, whatever. I'll go on Whatnot or eBay Live. I'll do it. Just, get me out there. Take me out to San Francisco. Take me out to Colorado Springs. Take me out to Orlando. Take me out to Houston. I'll go out there and I'll do the work. I don't care if we're working from 7:30 to 11 p.m. at night. I don't care. I'm going to go out there and do it. Having snap. The term snap was used at the show, at the seminar. And I had learned that term at the seminar, but I've been living the, protocols of snap my entire life. And there's a little anecdote from the seminar that I'll share. There was two younger numismatists in the class that you had sponsored. And they had come, we were sharing business plans, the 1-year plan. And I gave up and I went up and I, gave my red face speech or whatever and got my round of applause or whatever. And we decided to have a 10-minute break, a water break, because, it's Colorado. People get dehydrated quickly. So 2 young numismatists, I think they're both like 17, 16, whatever. They came up to me and they said, hey, Curt, we really loved what you said, but, we work for coin dealers with coin shops. So, we wish we had business plans. And I said, wait a second, guys. You guys don't need to have a business to have a business plan. Right now, you guys are operating and functioning as part of a business. You guys can have a business plan too. You know, always thinking of different angles and ways you can add value to the team around you, and having that snap. That's where success is. That's where you learn the most. That's how you get the most opportunities, by always extending yourself to help others and making a great impression and being a great team member, being a great leader, and, you know, being a great student. That's how you have Snap. And, you know, they went up and they talked about how they were going to use social media and eBay and Instagram and Facebook to promote their coin shops and show their employers how great of an employee they can be. That's how they're going to get afforded the opportunities that they need. So my message to all young numismatists out there: go out and do it, because it's waiting there for you.
It's awesome.
Curt
Blow
G.
me away. Yeah, that's awesome.
Curt G. went to the Kenny Jr School of Business.
That's right. Sounds like
that boy's fired up.
Fired up.
I feel like I'm leaving, something like the after effect, after class is over, after they kicked us out of the classroom for staying late, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I just got like shoulder press day at the gym, man. I'm ready to move some weight. I'm ready to sell some coins. I'm ready to sling, man. I'm ready.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah.
Woo! Oh, man. I knew, listen, when I told Olivia, matter of fact, I think I actually mentioned it to Olivia while we were still sitting in class. I said, I want you to talk to Curt. We're going to get Curt on the podcast. And it was actually because of that red-faced business plan that you gave, because I'm just going to say it again, because I have struggled with this in my own life, and I'm not sure that I've ever really said it. So I want to make sure that, you know, it happens to everyone. Or it at least happened to me. I shouldn't say it happens to everyone, but it happened to me to where I'm not comfortable standing up and talking to people. I absolutely can't stand it. And it actually hurt the way I traded coins when I worked for Kenny Duncan. I worked for Kenny Duncan. I worked for my dad in the wholesale department in 2005 through 8. And I was not confident. I was not confident in my knowledge. I wasn't confident in, in my understanding of the market. You know, I felt like I went up to chair number 2, like the second chair to him, really, really fast without really learning what I needed to learn to do it efficiently. And I wish I had a seminar to go to. I did. It was at my disposal. I didn't use it. And, I kick myself sometimes for not doing that. And that's why I'm so pro ANA seminar and, programs like Wit or You, anything that's going to help younger guys shape the hobby and shape the business, because I honestly believe that this is just the beginning of something very special. This hobby, coin collecting in general, it's just not going away. And if we can get another 100 or 200 guys like you fired up and into battle, the sky's the limit. I truly believe it. And if there's anything that we can do as a family, the Duncan family or the US Coins family, to get some of these kids to these seminars to learn, I want to help. And I will do everything it takes in my power to make sure it happens. So please make sure you guys know that. To our audience, please, if you are somebody that just has an absolute thirst for knowledge and wants to do something in numismatics and you want to do it the right way, I want you to reach out to us. If you can't get there or don't have the means, we want to help. And that's not blanket. I've put my money where my mouth is before, and I will do it every day. Curt, you can speak to that. I think we sponsored a couple kids for Wit or You, and for next year, we were handing out sponsorships like candy around there. But that's what we do. We give back because that's what happened. Somebody gave us an opportunity. Why should we not be the same? I don't feel like a lot of people send me messages. I can't believe you went to that seminar and told all those guys all that and taught them all these things. And I'm like, well, why not? They're like, well, you're creating your competition. I said, these guys are not competition. These are new additives that are going to bring a new flavor and a new style to this aging dinosaur community that we live in some parts. We need some fresh ideas. We need some fresh minds. We need fresh energy. And if that has to be me or Seth or whomever or us, we're going to do it. We're going to be a part of it. We're going to give back until I'm gone. And I can give you my word on that. So, Curt, I appreciate it. I got a question for you. I think we might try to do our first live hire. So when in the heck can you get to Houston, man? Why don't you find 2 weeks on your calendar that you can come, hang out at the shop, do a little internship. I'll pay you really good money. I'll pay you too much money. And I want you in the shop for at least 2 weeks. Let's give it a crack. Let's see how it works.
Okay, Kenny, you got it. I'll text you the details.
All right. You okay? You look like you're about to jump off your chair there.
Ready to jump off my chair and into a plane seat. So
That's awesome.
ready. It's the thing. Something that you said. And I just want to add on to it because I think it's so freaking important. This is my whole life. And listen, I don't mean to pick on stamp collectors if there's any stamp collectors watching this, but we saw that hobby hand in hand with coins in the beginning of the 20th century. Stamps, the inverted jennies, black penny stamps. These were huge. Now they would have sold for millions of dollars. But what happened was the powerhouses at B, the dealers, the publishers, the price guide makers, they withheld information. They made it a closed practice. So guys like me who were hungry to learn and make money, they couldn't break in. So when they died, the hobby went with them. People have been collecting and trading coins for 2,000 years. Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Augustus, they all had coin cabinets. The kings, the Habsburgs, the Medicis, these famous people now, again, with massive amounts of disposable income, these people now it's more accessible than ever, which is great. There's no excuse. Coin collecting has been around for 2,000 years. I think it should be around for another 2,000, even as we transition to a cashless society. There's no better way to hold a tangible piece of history and feel that connection to the past. That's huge. So I think the hobby has a wonderful future as long as there's people like the Duncans, people like Seth Chandler, people like the organizers of the summer seminar. As long as they're helping kids and giving back, we should be in a good place, and I'm super excited for the future. So thank you for all the opportunities you guys have afforded me so far, and I can't wait to see how we'll work together in the future.
Curt, you're not only one of my favorite YNs, but you might be one of my favorite people. We're going to take it out, guys. Thank you very much for joining the Coin Shop Podcast with our special guest today, Curt Gammer. We'll catch you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Later,
Peace
buddy.
out.
Right.
Take care.
Later.